Hey everyone, and welcome back to this series of old text that has to do with Shakuhachi and the Komuso, and they're really fascinating. And I found this really interesting one that is based in Hachioji, Japan. It's about 30 miles west of Edo at that time, and it's written in about 1610. And it's the title of it is called Otori Ippei's Encounter with a Komuso, and it's written by this guy named Miura Joshin, who was a really, really famous or storyteller, and he kind of cataloged a lot of his life and did really lots of writing, and you can actually access some of his books. There's actually a Harvard location that you can actually look at all the books that have been scanned in. Now, unfortunately, they're in ancient Japanese, which makes it a little bit difficult to read them, but I have some English versions in front of me that are also translated by my friend Torsten. So a link to his website in the description. So this is from his collection called Keicho Kenmoshu, which is seen and heard during the Keicho period, and that's about 1596 to 1615. So yeah, let's get right into it. This is the following story is an anecdote told by a man named Otori Ippei. While I was drinking sake in a wine shop in a town Hachioji in the Musashi province, Komuso came up to the gate playing shakuhachi. I called out to him and he came inside. "Dear me, I suppose you are an auspicious practitioner of aestheticism. You seem to be a devoted person," I said. "If it is your intention to be scattered in the world, sparing a home for ordinary humans, please let me entertain you with some wine. I also played the shakuhachi when I was young, you know." When I said, "I would like you to play a melody on your shakuhachi," the Komuso played a tune. Slightly smiling, I rolled up my kimono to uncover my butt and tapped my rump and said, "I can play better than you can with my ass." The Komuso got very angry and exclaimed, "What an inconsiderate and most uncomplimentary remark. Although many years ago I held a high position, now I have become one who has abandoned the world. But when I recall my former occupation, I do not grieve over poverty or lowliness. But I hold on to my faith, the way of the Buddha, and reserve all of my considerations for the purpose of the doctrine. I have no inward possessions, no outward desires, and with tranquil self I follow in the footprints of priest Fuke and have entered upon the way of true detachment and spiritual deliverance. Although I strive hard in aesthetic discipline, I find it difficult to maintain a peaceful mind when I am confronted with an atrocious word. And even if that might be changed, could I possibly alter my way of thinking? At any cost, however, I shall have to hear you play with your rump," he said. "By all means," I said. "I shall play with my ass." And then we discussed our bets while the words of that Komuso spoke were written down for successive generations. The Komuso drew out his short sword he carried by his side and claimed that it was a genuine Yoshimitsu. I was obliged to draw my sword too. This so-called sword was one I ordered from the swordsmith Shitahara, forged as an imitation, 3 feet, 6 inches long, and probably no more than 20 years old. I also shouted out the name of my sword and drew it as if I was ready to pay with my life. A townsman took charge of the stakes, and I exclaimed, "Well now, would you like to hear me play shakuhachi with my ass?" At the moment I grasped the Komuso's shakuhachi and held it beneath me, when I successfully played it, everyone could hear it. I said, "Believe me, it's better that I played with my ass than to have the Komuso play it with his mouth." And I was the winner of the dispute. If there is anyone who does not believe any of this, just ask the people of Hachioji, I say. Close quote. Definitely a man with lots of colorful stories. I hope that you guys enjoyed that very comical tale, and more in the future.